The movie begins in an adrenaline-pumping scene set in sunny Los Angeles. Picture this. Vincent is tearing down the highway, his heart pounding as he's pursued by the police. Beside him, Tweed is smooching the wads of cash and shiny gold they've just swiped. But they're not in the clear just yet. Tweed's had enough of the irritating cop on their tail, so he whips out a shotgun and starts blasting away. But instead, he gets hit by a bullet and Vincent has no choice but to slam on the brakes. He jumps out of the car, guns blazing, and takes down the officer who'd been chasing them. But as you might have guessed, this wild ride doesn't end there. Cause now Vincent's facing some dead serious charges, like robbery, shooting, and killing an officer. So he's locked up now, but does he just sit around? No way, he starts training like a boss, toughening up those knuckles on the cell wall. He knows he's gonna need it with those rowdy inmates. Meanwhile, meet Alex Barrows, a retired Black Ops agent with a dark past. He gets a call from a buddy who spills the beans. He found Vincent, and guess what? The cop killing charge might not stick since the officer was undercover and shot first. So off Alex goes to Val Verde prison in California to meet his long-lost son. But wait, there's more drama. Vincent's cellmate tries to ambush him, but our man got some mad skills. He disarms the guy and gives him a solid beating. Now back to the father-son reunion. Alex feels the burden of his past weighing heavily on him, but he's dead set on making things right. However, things take a sour turn when Vincent isn't too thrilled to see dear old dad. He blames Alex for ditching his sick mom and leaving them to fend for themselves. Alex tries to mend fences, but Vincent's not having it. He's icy cold and distant, leaving his dad feeling crushed and alone. It's time to meet the wicked mastermind of our tale, Max Chandler. He's chatting up the prison authorities, asking about parole, but they can't help but laugh at the absurdity. Just look at his rap sheet. Little do they know Max has a few tricks up his sleeve. As if on cue, a crew of lethal hitmen sneak into the prison via a hidden elevator. While Max keeps the warden and sergeant distracted, one of the officers, who's secretly in cahoots with Max, shoots the sergeant. Talk about a double cross. Meanwhile, just as Alex is about to make his exit, boom, an explosion rocks the prison, causing pandemonium. In the chaos, the treacherous guard eliminates the remaining staff in the room, effectively putting Max in charge of the whole prison. With brutal efficiency, his goons take out the officers and snatch control of the entire place. Max wastes no time, freeing the prisoners and using the remaining hostages as leverage. But how does he get the authorities' attention? He films a bone-chilling video detailing his demands, leaving everyone in shock. So what does Max want? Simple. Release the last 6 members of the notorious Trier crime family and fly them and himself to a country without extradition to the US. Once that's done, Max promises to free the hostages and disarm the bombs he's planted all around the prison. The tension is sky high as the authorities face a tough choice: give in to Max's demands or risk the consequences of defying him. As the pandemonium in Val Verde prison continues, our man Alex Barrows steps up to the plate. He teams up with Officer Coleman, keeping an eagle eye on Max Chandler's every move. But what about Vincent? He's rallying the other inmates to fight for their lives, acting like he wants to help the mercenaries just to not die for the time being. As Vincent spots a mysterious figure lurking nearby, he chooses to keep his distance, not realizing that it's actually his father. While Alex fends off the other prisoners, taking out multiple men, Max's fury grows with each of his henchmen taken down. His once flawless plan is quickly unraveling, and he's scrambling to regain the upper hand. In a cunning ploy, Max shoots his gun, faking the execution of his hostages, sending Officer Coleman into a frenzy. As Coleman calls Alex, begging him to leave the prison as Max will keep killing hostages if he doesn't, Alex keeps his cool, saying that they're all already dead. He is in deep conversation with Officer Coleman, but he's got this nagging feeling that something's off. After asking about Vincent, Coleman's answer confirms Alex's worst nightmare. His son is still trapped inside the prison. At the same time, Max Chandler's on edge, and his patience is wearing thin. He can tell Alex is no ordinary cop. He's got that military precision that screams special forces. Simultaneously, one of Max's goons attack Alex, as we see him take on a man 5 times his size, finishing him off with great ease. In a cunning move, Max dials Officer Coleman from an unknown number. Coleman picks up, thinking it's Alex, and accidentally blurts out his name in a moment of confusion. Max's heart races with excitement as he realizes he's got the upper hand at last. He's itching to get his hands on Alex and make him pay for messing up his perfect plan. Coleman also says the chopper is en route to the prison and can only guarantee him a trip to Mexico and nowhere else. Elsewhere, Vincent gets into a firefight with the intruder. He finally discovers that the mystery man lurking around is none other than his own father. Even as Alex tries to defuse the situation, Vincent's emotions spiral out of control. Blinded by rage, Vincent fires his weapon, shooting his own dad in the leg. Furious and still seething with anger, Vincent orders Alex to get out of there before anyone else figures he let him escape. Out there, just beyond the imposing prison walls, we find Coleman in a state of perplexity. Though he dismisses it as nothing to his sergeant, we can't help but feel the tension building. Elsewhere, our protagonist Alex slips away, seeking solitude in the bathroom. With a surgeon's precision, he extracts a bullet from his leg with a makeshift kit stashed in his backpack. A quick bandage job later, and he's ready to dive back into the fray. Meanwhile, Max Chandler is trying to make contact with his man Rhino through a portable radio. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the static. Not Rhino, but Alex. Max engages in a verbal sparring match, taunting him with the hardships of incarceration. Unfazed, Alex counters, revealing a piece of his dark past. He'd once been a prisoner himself in the Philippines, and let's just say he didn't wait for his sentence to end. Max listens to Alex's tale, and as he pieces together the puzzle, he realizes he's not dealing with an ordinary inmate. The conversation takes another twist. Max deduces that Alex isn't just fighting for his own survival. There's someone else he's trying to shield within these prison walls. He demands answers, but Alex remains evasive. Unable to glean more, Max makes the call to end their cryptic radio chat. The game of cat and mouse continues, their stories and secrets interweaving in this tangled web. With his son's life hanging in the balance, Alex seeks help from Officer Coleman. He clings to the hope that the arriving SWAT team can pull Vincent out of the prison safely. But Coleman's response isn't comforting. He expresses his doubts, stating that there's no guarantee Vincent can be trusted. He pretty much gives Alex minutes to save his son. As the SWAT team convenes on the scene, Alex finds himself in a deadly dance with the mercenaries. Outnumbered, but not outgunned, he keeps his cool when they open fire, dodging bullets until the perfect opportunity presents itself. With swift precision, he takes out the first adversary. Even as his injured leg protests, he charges into the fray, taking down a second mercenary. Ducking behind cover, he takes a moment to recalibrate before eliminating a third foe with a well-placed shot. All the while, the smiling bandit spectates from his corner, a chilling grin spread across his face. As Alex grapples with a fourth mercenary, the SWAT team prepares to storm the building. That's when the smiling bandit steps out from the shadows. The men discard their firearms, the situation shifting to an old-school fistfight. Alex seems to have the upper hand initially, but the tide turns when the smiling bandit delivers a skull-rattling headbutt. While Alex is on the ground, the smiling bandit taunts him, belittling his military background. He boasts about his own experiences, surviving torture in Afghanistan, and questions Alex's understanding of true pain. But Alex is far from defeated. He springs to his feet and barrels into the mercenary, knocking him down. A flurry of blows follows, each hit landing with punishing force until the smiling bandit is no more. With his foe defeated, Alex walks away, ready to face whatever comes next. The prison is a whirlwind of chaos as Max receives a call from Coleman. A helicopter is waiting to airlift him out. Taking Vincent along, Max issues a grim warning. Survival within these walls is impossible. Seeing Vincent's discomfort, Max confirms his suspicions about the young man's true identity. Once they reach the rooftop, Max unveils his weapon, aiming it at Vincent. He demands to know Vincent's link to Alex. Vincent reveals the truth without hesitation. He is Alex's son. Max, however, isn't done playing his mind games. He hands his gun to Vincent, challenging him to pull the trigger. But Vincent can't bring himself to do it, returning the weapon to Max. Alex then arrives on the scene. Vincent's relief at seeing his father is short-lived as Max fires a shot, hitting him. But Alex, injured on the ground, retaliates, putting a bullet in Max. But it isn't enough to take him down. As Max boards the helicopter, Alex has him in his sights, ready to pull the trigger. But Vincent convinces him to stand down. Max takes off, leaving the prison behind with a smug grin. Left behind, Vincent and Alex have no choice but to stand together in the aftermath of the chaos. As the movie closes, we see them, father and son, making their way out of the prison, battered, bruised, but victorious. Thank you for watching. Make sure to drop a like and we'll see you on the next one.